Run it up, keep clean. Never let them touch, fits like temper tantrums. Girl, come back there, up, all in the club, and bring all your girlfriends. Girl hopping up about a Pearl 6 Louis speed bag glued to her wrist. She was getting paid, she ain't think a thing, but she was thinking slay. We blade thicker than a snicker bag. Talking about she don't come with no baggage. Y'all in her bag, I probably should. I'm really just running for money. I'm love flow, Joe chasing a check. I'm really gonna run up the money. I'm Carl Lewis, really running the best. Car moving through these Hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Car moving through these Hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. I'm really just running for money. I'm love flow, Joe chasing the check. I'm really gonna run up the money. I'm Carl Lewis, really running the best. Car moving through these Hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Car moving through these Hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Wilson. And he will go down. A Cowboy sack. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. And got his man complete. The 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, the conservative, easy call, run the football, take care of it, create some space, punt the ball away, but no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them because when you've got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back, and sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, Elliott. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively. but it falls incomplete.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
Returnable for Lockett. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
Tempo, baby, let's go. Let's go to work. Come on.
A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Moving backwards on 1st down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on 2nd down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
Almost unstoppable on the ground there, as that one is good for 39.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Steps away. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's taken down inside the 30. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Eluding the pressure right. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Appeared to me he was just trying to find an open receiver and got forced out to his right. Had to come off of a guy downfield, try and hit his back. Unable to connect. Should have been an easier throw moving to his right, though.
Yeah, much easier, obviously, for a right-handed quarterback. If he was going to his left, a little bit tougher.
Exactly.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Wilson to the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. They go play action with Wilson. Buying time to his left. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Charles, that's an important 3rd down stop. You don't want to spot him 2 touchdowns here early.
You're trying to slow momentum down. You've already given up the score. They're coming right back at you. You're exactly right. Being able to hold them there and force a decision on 4th down, that's big for the defense.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter
blitz coming, and down he goes. The former first-rounder, Barkevius Mingo. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now Elliott. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Call it a 3-yard gain, but they'll be forced into a 3rd and 15 coming up.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Brad McDougal. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post Because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
The penalty moves them into the red zone here on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. They juked him. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined them.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused. Because it had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
This will be caught at about the 6. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 2nd and goal. Here's Wilson. And there's Baldwin. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Janikowski good with the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take you to the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. A give to Elliott. And he powers his way up past the 30. 4 yards on the pickup there, as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now it's Lockett. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. But I believe a Seahawk was able to get a handle on this, so this will remain Seattle ball.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out.
Work it, baby. Keep working, fellas.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down at the 18. Call it a pickup of 7 on the ground. That trims it to a 3rd and 15 situation.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Elliott going to be hit. He coughs it up. Loose football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Prescott now on 2nd down. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. A big play here for Dallas. 55 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll run with Elliott, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
47.
On the counter, Elliott. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. And his kick is indeed good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Alert. Tempo.
On 1st down, Wilson. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And avoids the contact by sliding. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Shotgun. 19.
On 2nd down, Wilson steps away to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run, deep left side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
I like the play call. Roll him out. Give him a chance to run it or throw it. In this situation, he decided to fling it, but couldn't find his man open.
And the Seahawks on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. From the shotgun, Wilson. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
Give him 7 yards on the carry, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. The Cowboys on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Here we go. 47, 47. Hey, we're going right there. We're going right there. 46.
The give is to Elliott. A gain of 11 and a first down. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Cooper was the target there. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way. An
ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
14.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And the tight end Dixon left side. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That one goes for 24 yards. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And it's picked up by the Cowboys. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. The Cowboys on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Prescott from the gun. A dump off to Elliott. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He's going to go deep for Beasley. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Come on, in and out. Come on, tempo.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And he stopped immediately there. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Now Wilson. Being chased out left. He can run for it, and he will. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. On the left hash, officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. And Janikowski bangs it through, and that will extend the lead out to 24. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. 2nd down, Prescott. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Quentin Jefferson. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. They'll need a big play here, will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. On play action, Prescott. A loss of 8 on the play, and it brings up 4th. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fielded at the 33. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. Wilson now off the bootleg. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. But they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Again, it's Elliott. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Prescott now from the 50. And this is going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Good to see this man running again. Here's Chris Carson. And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front.
He's got a man complete. Doug Baldwin past the 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Seahawks are running away with this one. Janikowski adds the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
41's the will. Tighten up.
They go to Elliott again. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
A 20th carry here for Elliott. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Elliott. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Prescott. And that is incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. On the NFL scoreboard elsewhere, 3rd quarter down in Arizona. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Now it's Carson. Give him a couple on the run there. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Now a toss play. It's Carson. And some room to work. Oh, shifted. And he's into the clear. He's at the 30. Back now in Seattle, Washington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A great play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And this Seahawks offense continues to pour it on. Extra point pretty close to that right upright, but he does get it to go. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with him punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive. Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here's on 47, 47.
Here's Elliott. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd-and-1 situation.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. Over the middle, Amari Cooper. It's complete. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
I don't care how many times we say it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
A give to Elliott running left. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Cowboys are able to make things a bit more respectable. Extra point splits the uprights as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And out now come the Seahawks. Well, this ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On 3rd down, that's Carson. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Here's Carson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. This is Carson, and he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. They run it with Carson, and this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. On his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And out now come the Cowboys. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. and that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Here we go. 180.
Jim. Ship! Watch the ship!
This is Elliott. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week.